Hi. Hi, guys. Hello, 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 hello. Can someone confirm that you can hear me and we are off? Can someone just confirm that they can hear me and we are hi? Hi. Can you just confirm that you can hear me? Once you confirm that you can hear me, we take off, okay? No time to waste. No more time to waste. If you can just confirm that you can hear me, we'll take off. Hello, 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 hello. I just need a confirmation that I am audible, that you can hear me, and we are on it. Hello, can you hear me? All right, awesome. That's all I just need that one confirmation. Saying what to do when you feel like life is so overwhelming and everybody else is ahead of you. What do you do when you feel like life is so overwhelming and everybody else is ahead of you? And I understand that the audience, this question was actually inspired by someone who reached out to me and asked me, what do I do? I just feel like too much is happening in my life at per time, and all my classmates are ahead. Everybody else seems to just be able to drift through life and do life so much more better than I can. And it was so intriguing to me because I can relate. I can relate to that feeling of feeling stuck and being like, is it like they have shared a secret that I'm not aware of? You get like being in that place where you feel like you're just stuck and things feel harder for you, but nobody else is complaining, and you're like, what's happening? Or even for it's also something that happens when you're in a season of parenthood and you have to give some amount of time to family. You have to give some amount of time to your children, and you just feel like I'm stuck. You feel like, did they share a secret about life that I'm not aware of? Everything is just so heavy, I'm not able to move forward. If you can hear me, please just say I can hear you. If you're excited for this, please say I'm excited. I was like, get your papers and your pen, because today I really like to be systematic in everything that I do. I'm going to like share things that are going to be step by step, and I need you to really engage. So please engage. Please, I'm looking at the chat and I'm expecting your questions. If you ask at any time, feel free to ask a question, and I'm going to do my best to answer it real time. Okay, these are the perks of being on the live. Okay, so if you have a question that comes to your mind, if you have a question that just pops up in your mind, feel free, ask a question there and there, and I'm going to address it. Okay, so this is your chance. If you're on the live, you can ask me questions and I'm going to answer your questions. Okay, those that are catching replay might not get this privilege. Those who are catching a replay might not get this privilege. So please, please, please get ready to engage, get ready to ask questions, get ready to leave your comments, and I'm going to do my best to answer every single one. So if you're ready, please write in the comment section that you are ready. So, what do you do when life feels overwhelming? What do you do when life feels overwhelming and you feel like, nah, everybody else is ahead of me? So, the first thing that I want to mention is, I mentioned this in my last live. So if you not watch my last live, you have to absolutely watch it after this. Like, because it's so important that I want it to enter. I want it to really sink in very well. That your life, if your life is a business and you have to run it like a business, that means you have to be intentional about every area of your life. So the first mindset they are going to have is that in this my life, I am an active participant of my life. I am not just a passive person. Okay, there's intentionality that I have to put into it. I don't let life happen to me. I happen to life, if that makes any sense. So I live my life by design and not by default. I live my life by design and not by default. So if you imagine that somebody has a business, what do they start out with? They start out with their goal. Okay, the business might be I want to make money, I want to make profit. The next thing that they have to do is they have to come out with a plan. Okay. They have to come out with a plan with how they are going to get from where they are to where they are going. So now how does this translate into your life as a human being? The reason why you're overwhelmed, the feeling of overwhelmed is a signal that something is happening. The feeling of overwhelmed is a signal that you are carrying too much without a necessary vision or a necessary structure to carry it. You are taking on more than you can handle. When you start feeling overwhelmed, it's a sign that you have to check something is not right. But unfortunately, many people, because they don't live their lives by design, they just live their lives by default. When something is not right, you're just pushing forward. You're too busy trying to keep no trying to keep showing up that you don't take the time to pause and say no, something is wrong. And that's why I'm so big on self-awareness, because self is it is a skill. It is a skill of awareness. It's a skill of, you're not just floating in life. The skill of, when I feel an emotion, what is this emotion trying to communicate to me? Your emotions are not leaders of your life, but your emotions are big signals. Your emotions are not leaders of your life, but your emotions are signals that you must learn to pause and say, what is this emotion telling me? What is this emotion telling me? And then you start to discern it. You start to discern. Let me say that again. Your emotions are not the leaders of your life, but your emotions are signals that you must learn to discern. So the next time you feel an emotion, the emotion of overwhelm, the emotion of comparison, the emotion of envy, don't just no, you pause. You pause and you say, what is this emotion that I'm feeling? Many of us cannot even name the emotions that we feel. Many of us cannot name the emotions that we feel. So when you just feel, if you ask them how you feel, you just say, you just know vaguely that I'm feeling bad, I'm feeling good. No, you're not just feeling bad. What exactly are you feeling? So even before we come to this aspect of overwhelm, many people don't even understand that what they are feeling is overwhelm. They just feel like it is normal. That's life. No, that is not life. Okay. And I'm going to get into how trauma kind of shapes the way we view our world. But this also speaks to the fact that when you're there's a level of overwhelm that you just live your whole life with, that you never realize that it's not normal. You just live your whole life under constant stress. And this speaks into trauma. There are many of us that were traumatized without even realizing it. You've lived your whole life in an atmosphere of chaos, in an atmosphere of lack of structure, in an atmosphere of so much going on, that you don't even realize that it is not normal. You don't even realize that there is an alternative. Let me speak into this before we go. For many of us, my the primary people that I try to help are really Africans, honestly, because I feel like there are so many things that are specific to our context and our culture and our values. I love Africa. I love us. I love the way we do our things. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping us. Take for example, a university student, because I recognize that a lot of my audience are students, and young adults. A university students, a typical Cameroonian university, for example. The teacher just wakes up one morning and they say, "You are writing exam tomorrow." Have you had that feeling? I know that feeling all too well. You're just on your phone one day, and then you're like, life is going on well, life is smooth, life is nice, and then you just see a message that says, "I hope you guys know that exams are tomorrow," or the announcement has just come out that no forewarning, no, it's just out of the blue, the chaos. It doesn't out of the blue. They just announce, say, an exam. Out of the blue, just announce a new project, and then you finally find yourself, right? You're constantly anxious. You're like, you feel like something is wrong with you, but something is not actually wrong with you. Something is wrong with the system. You get, and because many of us have lived in that kind of environment. Oh, there are just so many examples. If you have any other examples, you can put them in the chat, or you just, they're just, even say waking up in the morning to take a taxi, or even driving. Those who drive, the chaos. The people don't respect traffic lights. The traffic light says red, nobody cares. If somebody even pauses at the red traffic light, it's seen as a strange thing. The traffic light is red and you choose to pause. it, Other people look at you like you're other people look at you like something is wrong, right? So that constant atmosphere of lack of structure and chaos, that feeds into us feeling like there's something wrong with us, whereas there really isn't. Or what that feeds into us feeling that there's something wrong with us, or there's something wrong with the system. And that feeds into us being so used to the chaos, so used to the lack of structure, so used to the feeling of overwhelm, that we're not able to pause and say something is wrong. Okay. So that's the point I'm trying to make. So what you're going to start by doing, if you're in a situation where you feel like life is getting so overwhelming, the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to pause and you're going to clarify. Guys, just give me 1 second.
Hello, congratulations. I'm shifting, so last time. I still have some stuff. But
Hey guys, today has just been crazy. We're going to do this. We are going to do this. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to start by simplifying your life and getting a vision for your life. I know that many times I talk about purpose. I talk about, because you can be asking yourself, the question is simply, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like everybody is getting ahead of me. Why is that such? Why do I have to now be asking questions about the vision of my life? You have to ask questions about the vision of your life. Okay. Because everything, those existential questions that you are avoiding, that is what is causing you trouble. Stop avoiding those deep questions of life. Start addressing them. Stop avoiding those deep questions of life and start addressing them. So you're going to start. Do you actually have a vision for your life? Do you actually have, one way to ask is that when I die, what's that one thing that I want to be remembered for? And for us Christians, if you're a Christian on the life, then you understand that it's in the context of kingdom, it's in the context of Christ. But what is that one thing that I want to have said I've contributed to the world? What is that one thing that I want to say I've been able to? What is that one thing that when it happens, I will really feel like my time on earth was well spent, like it meant something. Okay, 1 or 2 sentences. I don't want it to be long. Think, have you thought about something? If you've thought about something, say in the chat, I've thought about something. Write on your paper. Just quickly write something. I don't want to share mine. I don't want to share mine, but quickly write something. Say, when I'm no more, I want to be remembered for. When I'm no more, I want to be remembered for so and so. So if you have done that, great. The next thing you're going to do is that you're going to ask yourself, the things I'm currently doing, how do they fit into that big grand scheme of things? How do they fit into that big picture? So school, I'm going to school, I'm going to university. How does that fit into the grand scheme of things? I'm a mom, I'm a parent. There is always a way that the actions that you are doing now have meaning, some sort of meaning in the grand scheme of things. I'm a student at the university. Maybe this is what is going to, my degree, or for example, is what is going to take me from here to here till I finally achieve that big thing. It might be in the long run, it might be in several years that this actually serves me to achieve that grand goal. But how does it fit in the grand goal of things? Now you're going to come to the stage where you're going to start removing things from your life that are not serving you. The problem with many of us, and the reason why we feel overwhelmed, is because you know already that you're taking on too much. It's not something new that I'm saying. You know already that you're taking on too much. You're in this activity, that activity, you're doing this one, you're doing that one, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. The problem is that you don't know, everything feels important. Everything feels like I have to do it, I have to do it, I have to do it. No, not everything is important. So we're getting into the phase where you're going to remove the things that are not important. And how are you going to know they're not important? You're going to ask yourself these questions. This thing that I'm doing, does it fit in the grand scheme of things as we've talked about? Secondly, Is this something that I'm doing just because I can do it? It's not everything that you can do that you should do. Let me say that again. It's not everything that you can do that you should do. I, for example, at one point I was even doing makeup, and and the feeling of I had to make the tough decision. I had to make a tough decision to let go of that makeup dream. Okay, because secure as you know, it actually started from me doing makeup. Story for another day. But it came to a point where in removing the things that were not serving me in my life, even though I felt capable to do that, even though I felt like it was a talent, even though I felt like that all these various areas of gifting that you feel like I don't want to let go of. I don't want to. But don't do something just because you can do it. It's not everything. It's not a matter of ability. It's a matter of capacity. Is this going to serve my overall vision? Is this going to serve my overall vision? So even while you can do it, you have to operate from the principle of highest contribution. You have to operate from the principle of highest contribution. What's the highest contribution I can offer to the world? That's why I started with the exercise of defining what your overall goal in life is. There are many ways that you can add value to this earth. There are many ways that you can add value to the world. There are many different ways. I can add value to this world by doing makeup. I can add value to this world by I sing. I love singing. I sing a lot. I can add value to this world by saying, I know what, I'm not going to do secure. I'm going to get into music. That's an option. I like writing, right? I can decide I'm not going to do secure. I'm going to focus on writing. There is not just one path. There's not just one way that I can contribute to this earth, right? However, and this is where many people miss it. People try to do everything at once and then they get overwhelmed and are not able to do anything effectively. And people struggle with the idea that, but I'm good at it. I like doing this thing. It's a gift that God has given me. I have many ideas. I'm multi talented. I'm multi so and so. And I'm going to clarify all of this. I'm not saying that, especially there are many things. Everybody can do many things, okay? Everybody has been gifted by God. Even the people that say that they are multi-talented, the reality is that even the person who seems to have only one talent has so many skills that can serve as various paths for them. So it's not about being multi-talented. It's about coming to the place where you realize that I can contribute to this earth in many ways. But what is that one? What is that area of contribution that is my highest area of contribution? How can I most contribute if that makes sense. So instead of thinking, okay, I can contribute to the earth in this way, I'm gifted in this, I'm talented in this, I have ideas in this, I have ideas in that, you become more strategic. Because business people who are aiming to make profit, remember your life is a business that must yield profit. Your life is a business. In the Bible, in the parable of the talents, that is literally the illustration that God was giving, that Jesus was giving. That is literally the illustration that Jesus was giving. He said that a man travels, he gave talents to his servants, and when he came back, he was asking that what is the yield? What is the profit? What have you done with what I've given you? So your life is a business and it has to yield profit. And business people are strategic. A business doesn't go around doing everything, everything, everything. That's not strategic thinking. A business person understands that in order to yield the highest profit, what do I do? And I'm telling you, I'm revealing the secret to you. I'm revealing the secret to you that to yield the highest profit, the highest dividends in your life, you think in terms of what is my how can I most contribute to the world? What's my highest level of contribution? Not what are all my multiple possibilities of contribution. This is the difference between a business person. Remember, if I want you to understand the business analogy, this is the difference between a businessman and somebody who is doing having a hobby. If your life is a hobby to you, you can spend time doing a little here, doing a little there. If your life becomes a business, that I know that I have to yield fruits, I have to yield profits for my master. When he asked me on the last day that what did you do with your life? then you become more strategic. Imagine that the various companies that you like to buy from, let me say Amazon. Imagine that Amazon decides that they're going to be in this business and they'll also be doing that one, and they'll also be doing music, and they'll also be doing, they have to be strategic. So you focus on your highest level of contribution. And the amazing thing is that when you focus on your higher level of contribution, even the other areas of gifting that you feel like you have, other areas where you feel like you can also do things, you're talented, they fit in eventually. They eventually always find a way to fit into that into your process. They eventually find a way to fit into your process. But I'm saying, in order to avoid overwhelm in your life, understand this is where I'm going, this is the vision I have for my life, and how can I most strategically achieve that vision? How can I most contribute to the world? So, to make it very practical in your life, you're going to start removing activities that don't serve you. Many of us are attached to activities because of fear. If I don't attend this program, if I don't do that one, what will people say? You think that, and I was having a discussion with somebody just yesterday. There's a thin line between actions motivated by fear and actions motivated by love. Many of us are being motivated by fear and we think that is love. Many of us are being motivated by fear in so many things. Your decisions are being influenced by, if I don't do this one, what will people say? Or if I don't do this one, or if I don't attend this program, or if I don't come and if I don't show up to this, if I don't show up to that, motivated by fear, I bet you are convincing yourself that it is love. Oh, I'm attending this because my friend has invited me to attend this. I'm attending this because I love her so much and I want to support her. Be honest with yourself. Really begin to ask yourself the question of, am I being motivated by love, or am I just being motivated by my fear of what might happen? There is a very thin line, and it is very easy for us to convince ourselves that something is motivated by something that it is not motivated by, if that makes sense. This is a general rule that I apply in my life. If somebody invites me to do something, if the answer is not yes, I say no. Okay. Apply this and this will save you from a lot of overwhelm. The release that you will have when you stop trying to please everybody. There's this issue of people pleasing and being okay with just saying no. If the answer to that new thing that you want to do is not yes, you see the way I'm saying the yes, it's an eager yes, it's a happy yes. If the answer is not yes, guys, I'm tired, my day has been hectic, no, my energy is not top. If the answer is not yes, I'm laughing at my own yes because it sounds so weird. Then say no. Then say no. Okay? You should actually be saying no more times than you say yes. Do you realize the number of choices and options that we have in this world right now? But many of you, your default response is yes. Your default response should be no. You should your default response should be no. Your default response to options and opportunities and choices should be no. You say yes only to what is yes. You don't say yes to everything. Can you attend this program? Yes. Can you come and do this? Yes. Can I? Yes. Can you? Yes. No. No, 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 no. You first say no. Oh my god. I feel like the things I'm teaching are going to offend some people. But yeah. Yeah. Take it or leave it. I'm trying to help also. And if there are any questions, please put them in the chats. I'm looking forward to responding. Please, I want to see us in the chat so that I know I'm not speaking to myself. There's something called the paradox of success. And the very things that are meant to, for example, let me give you a practical example. I'm going to be sharing and I'm going to be talking and sharing some things that I wish I knew maybe a few years back that would have helped my life. So let's say you join, for example, I joined a school fellowship. Oh, my school fellowship blessed me so much. So, so, so much. That's where I was formed. That's literally, my school fellowship back in medical school. It's literally the place where I became the person I am, or at least set a very good foundation for who I am today. But what happens is that many times the thing that blesses you is called, I'm trying to explain the paradox of success, then eventually becomes the thing that becomes your limiting factor or your limiting belief. Because now eventually I will spend all my time at fellowship. Study, you don't want to study. Not that I want to study, but my excuse was that, I have this meeting, I have that meeting, I have that meeting. Why? Because I'm avoiding having to confront the fact that my academics are suffering and I have to attend to it. So the very thing that was a blessing in my life has now become the thing that, in a sense, is limiting me. It's not the thing that limiting me. I'm actually limiting myself, to be honest. But it now becomes your excuse. Another way that it shows up is, say, okay, when I started Secure, I would counsel people. I was very excited. Many people were coming to me and, asking for counsel and stuff like that. But eventually, the very thing that gave me joy and fulfillment now became like, because the counseling requests were too many. It now became, I'm explaining it from a sense of overwhelm. So you see where sometimes that feeling of overwhelm comes from. The very thing that was a source of joy and fulfillment at the start, it now became so much. The counseling request for advice, it was just becoming so so draining. So you have to be aware of this cycle. It feeds into itself. Something that is a blessing to you, if you don't set boundaries, if you don't set structure, that thing that begin becomes the very source of your overwhelm and of your stress. You were happy when you got into university, and now the university is the thing that is stressing. The university is the thing that is stressing you. So please set boundaries. Please make set don't be afraid to cut things out of your life. Don't be afraid to cut things out of your life. Don't be afraid that if I let go of this thing, then I'm not, no, I'm not living at my, I'm not, it's something I can do, but I'm not doing it. Focus on the focus on the area of highest contribution, and those other little things. For example, if I wanted to now say in my life that I will be doing Secure, and then I'll also be focusing on makeup, and I'll also be focusing on producing music to be the next, I don't know, Moses Blaze, or and I'll also be focusing on, do you imagine how overwhelmed I will be? It will be too much. But then I realize I have to pause and think. If you're following my train of thought very well, the dots will begin to connect. I have to pause and think. In this my life, what do I really want to be remembered for? What's that one thing? And personally, if I'm going to share a bit of what I want to be remembered for, I want to be remembered as a someone who sparked a revolution in Africa. That is the overall thing. That's the main thing. It's not about the music, it's not about these various things. It's not That's what I want. I want to be that Jesus girl that God sent to cause a massive shift on our continent. So I now think, okay, what is that what is that vehicle that will lead me to that area of highest contribution? Secure is actually a good vehicle. And even in Secure, even in what I do here, my music can come in. So that times that I share on Secure, WhatsApp platform, and then I'll share a song that I wrote. So even my gift of music begins to fall inside eventually. My gift of writing, I just released some books. I just launched some books a few weeks ago, a few months ago. So even music enters, even uh, so even all my giftings, they eventually find expression, but you have to be willing to first focus on the most important thing. If you're trying to hold, it's like somebody that is trying to hold too many things at once, you'll not be effective. Hold one, and then that one thing is going to have like a domino effect. Yes, it's going to have a cascade effect. It's going to make sense if you take me seriously. All this will eventually make sense. All this will eventually make sense. Okay, so remove the things in your life that are not serving you. It's okay to pause them. It's okay to, you know, you're going to have a long life. So there's no need to be rushing to try to be doing everything. Okay. I cannot be bothered. Okay. I don't do more than myself. I do the one that I can. So let's go to the second the second part of this discussion. In order to avoid overwhelm, you're going to have to ride on systems, and you're going to have to ride on structure. Okay. This concept, listen, you have no business having so many. There's some of us that the year has started and ask if I ask for your goals, you will list me like 10 things. You have no business having more than 2 to 3 goals in the year. If you have too many goals, do you realize how even that in itself is overwhelming? Your brain loves simplicity. Your brain loves when something is predictable and straightforward. Do you realize that most of your life is lived on automatic mode? Most of the decisions that you make in a day are on automatic mode. You make the same decisions unconsciously. I wake up in the morning, this is what I do. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize that you're having a script that your mind is following. Simplify your life. Your brain doesn't like to have too many decisions to make, too many things to be thinking about. And that's why the concept of structure and systems to ride on is so important. Because I understand that my brain likes automation. It likes things to be automatic. Then I'm going to engineer that day. I'm going to intentionally craft that automatic process. I'm going to intentionally craft the process, the automatic process that my brain has to follow. Because a lot of your life is lived on automatic mode. There's nothing you can do about it. 90% of your life is automatic. You don't think about it. Do you imagine what can you imagine what will happen if you have to think about everything? That's what makes the brain is so powerful. It handles everything automatically. You have to think about your breathing, think about your posture, think about that's why your brain is there. It handles all those things for you automatically. But the problem is that sometimes the script that it is using is the wrong script. So in order to reduce overwhelm in your life, you're going to start crafting those automatic processes. And one of those automatic processes is called habits. You're going to have to start inculcating the right habits into your life, the right routines. What is your morning routine? What is your evening routine? Help your brain to not have to make too many decisions. Help your brain to live on the right script while it's doing its automatic functioning. I have my morning. I had to craft that the way now that business mindset comes in, that strategic, I must yield results, intentionality comes in. I had to sit down and say, okay, for where I'm going in this life and the kind of person that I have to be in order to attain the thing, attain that vision. What kind of morning routine am I supposed to handle? What kind of morning routine am I supposed to have? And I crafted my morning routine. I know that okay, I'm going to have to be somebody who reads a lot. I'm going to have to read the different things. I'm going to have to be somebody who is intentional about her health because I have to live a long life. I'm going to have to be somebody who's constantly feeding her spirit, feeding her mind, and feeding her body, right? So how do I inculcate that into routines that become automatic? I'm not even thinking about them. And I crafted my morning routine. I crafted my evening routine. I craft different areas. This is now where the process of habit formation comes in. And I cannot go into the details of how to form habits because forming habits, forming the right routines in your life is going to reduce your overwhelm by 90%. Just having the right habits in your life, your overwhelm is slashed. It is slashed. That feeling of overwhelm is slashed. And let me use this opportunity to talk about our discipline that builds confidence course. I can't talk about habit formation here. I can't talk about reprogramming your mind. Before you download the right things on a computer, maybe you know what they do, they say formatting. We are formatting a computer. You reset everything. Many of us are trying to build new habits where they are old without removing old habits, while trying to program new things in our minds without removing the old things. Trying to program the right mindsets, new mindsets without removing the old mindsets. There's a process of reprogramming your brain, and I cannot go into all those details here. That's why I'm inviting you to join our Discipline That Builds Confidence course. It's coming up on the 31st, running for 3 days. So if you're here, and you're not part of that, you're not registered for that. I can't do everything on this live. That's why the course is literally 3 days. So much intentionality has gone into that. You should register. I'm going to be explaining habit formation. I'm going to be explaining reprogramming your mind. Once you understand these two concepts, your overwhelm is slashed by 90%. It's slashed by 90%. So please ride on system. It's not just about it's not about setting goals, okay? It's about having the right habits. It's about having the right systems in your life. It's about having the right standard operating procedures. When this happens in my life, what do? Are you write these things down? It's not just about thinking them. Once you have written these things down, you're not doing anything. So please register for the course because we can't do everything on this live. So if we go back to the initial questions, like how do I stop feeling so overwhelming and every other person feels ahead of me? Listen, that aspect of every other person feels ahead of you is because you have not gotten busy enough designing your own life. And that's why there's room for feeling like another person is ahead of you. The moment you get into your business mindsets, or into your business era, into your intentionality era, into your era of intentionally designing your life, there's so much to do that you cannot be bothered what another person is doing. You can't be bothered because you're too busy designing your life and getting to your vision. So the moment you start comparing, it's really and it's common even with university students, right? You get your grade and you're wondering what another person is you're wondering what another person got on their grade. You're struggling maybe in performance and you're only wondering so that people are not struggling or they don't seem like they're struggling. You're so because you're not intentionally designing your life. When you're intentionally designing your life, what you instead be thinking of is I'm not in comparison with other people. But because I have a goal of where I want to go to, I'll start asking, okay, should I maybe reach out to them and ask, is there something I'm missing? You now start having a collaborative approach instead of a competitive approach. Because I'm not competing with you. I don't have anything to compete with you. So in my mindset now starts becoming collaborative, not competitive. Many of us are too competitive in our thinking, and that is a sign that you are insecure. That 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 competition that many of us experience or comparison that many of us experience is a huge sign of insecurity. And that insecurity is coming from the fact that you don't really have clarity on your own life. You're insecure about your own life. You're insecure about where you are going. So there's that constant temptation to look to the left and to the right. Okay. But when I am secure in where I'm going, in my goal, in that my own path is so unique. Nobody else has been called to do the things that I've been called to do. Only me can do it. There's literally nobody else that can do it. So I start thinking, if another person is doing so much better than me, I start looking at collaborative. What can I learn from that person? Can I observe them? Can I reach out to them? Even if it takes me, even if I don't yield the kind of results that they yield. Say that other person is say major, the best student in your class. It doesn't bother. If I'm not major, will I die? What is more important is that I'm making progress. So many of you are unwilling the idea of collaborating with other people even feels so difficult for you because you're feeling like you're fixated on the goal instead of the process. You're fixated on I have to be the best student of my class instead of I have to make progress in the direction of 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 my ultimate vision in life. So you're so short-sighted. That's the issue. A lot of our struggles come from our short-sightedness. Listen, My aim is to raise a generation of people who have vision. Vision means that you're thinking far. Your thinking is so far into the future that it doesn't make sense to be bothered with this person has gone ahead of me. This person has done this one before me. This person, the journey is long. Oh, the journey is very, very long. We can't afford to be bothered by such trivial things. Let me just see our comments. If you're following, let me know that you're following. If you are following, let me know that you're following. And if you're getting some value from this, let me know that you're getting some value. So that I know I'm not speaking to myself. Okay. So now there are practical things that you're going to start doing in your life. You're going to start decluttering. You're going to start giving yourself room to think. You're going to embrace boredom. Okay. Stop being on your phone every time. Every time there's a little pause, a little break. You pick up your phone. No. Now, as from today, you're going to embrace boredom. You know, when places are quiet, you don't have anything to do. Do you realize that is where you get refilled? That is where you have your most impactful ideas, where you just pause and allow boredom to exist. Don't be afraid of boredom. Don't be afraid of quiet. Some of us are we have to fill up every moment in our day. We just feel like if we're not doing something, it's a problem. No, as from today, you're going to embrace boredom. You're going to embrace quietness. You're going to embrace those moments of solitude. Okay. Okay, if you're getting some value, let me see it in the comments. If you're getting some value, let me see it in the comments. The next thing you're going to start doing, you're going to start giving yourself permission to play. This feeling of overwhelm, is because many of us have for some reason have been taught that, hi, I'm seeing people in the comment section. Okay, I'm seeing a question. Let me just say let me just say my thought what I wanted to say, and then I'll answer the question there. I've lost my train of thought. Okay, I was saying that you're going to what embrace boredom. You're going to embrace boredom, and honestly, if you remember what I was saying, just let me know. While that is coming, let me try to answer the questions. Okay, how can I handle doing things so as to please my parents all the time? No matter what I do, there's always a blame I get. This is where there's a concept of boundaries. There's something that we have to understand about boundaries. Boundaries in this context means you're able to set a gap in your mind where not a gap, you're able to set the limit where you understand that I'm not responsible for people's opinions or people's if somebody feels like they have to blame me, that's on them. I can't control another person's feelings. I can't control another person. Yes, that is the idea of boundaries. I am responsible for myself and I can't control another person. The limits of my life are these are the limits of my life is me. Okay, just as you have a body that defines your limits, your physical limits, you have to have boundaries that define your psychological limits. If somebody always blames me, that's on them. Can I still exist within can I still exist within myself, realizing that okay, that person has a right to blame me and feel like and tell me I've not done this, I've not done that, as long as I'm doing the thing I ought to do. And it's different from if you're actually doing something wrong, okay? But if you're doing your best, boundaries help you understand. The idea of boundaries is that you understand that they have the right to think anything that they want about me. I also have the responsibility to think what I want to think about myself and not let their thinking control me and not let their thinking define my life. Okay, I think I need to do a whole series on boundaries. So it's okay. This this will help you all throughout life. You can have somebody, you can have what another common question that people ask, that how do I make somebody. You can't make somebody do anything. You can't make your parents do anything, okay? You can only make yourself do what you are responsible for. You're responsible for your life. If you're doing your best, just recognize that it's up to them what they want to think. Focus on doing what you can do, okay? You're not called to please other people all the time, okay? You honor them, you do what you ought to do, and remain within your own psychological boundaries. We are talking about being overwhelmed. I decided to be simple and not overdo, but now this is still on or not. I have no idea if this is on. Okay, we're back. We are back. We are back. So I was answering this question. It says, we are talking about being overwhelmed. I decided to be simple and not overdo it. But now I don't know what to fill up with the basics to focus on. There are basics in life, okay? First of all, I want you to enjoy the fact that you have free time. Many of us take for granted, we even the idea that you have to fill up your time with something. I I don't I feel like it's an issue in itself, okay? Some of us are so used to like going that when life calms down, we feel like we have to fill up the time. You don't have to, don't see your life like I have to fill up time. Mm-mm. Enjoy the boredom, okay? As you have nothing to do like that, enjoy it. See, your most impactful ideas, the ideas that will change this world. Many times people think that many of their to have good ideas is by praying. See, there's there are times that you pray, and if it seems something I teach, okay, on how to have creative ideas.